Hello and hi everybody, welcome back to another one. At this time I'm here with another one from the Paint Explorer, and this one is the most painful ocean deaths ever. So it's not just people getting seriously injured, it's just them actually dying in the deep depths of the ocean. I've never really I've been to a couple beaches before, but I normally don't like being in beach water. They're normally nasty as fuck. I'm like the kind where I like to be in a swimming pool. But in the middle of the ocean, yeah, that's not for me. That ain't for me. You can call me a pussy all you want, but that shit is just not for me at all. But these people, they do got balls. At what cost? So, but yeah, with that being said, if you haven't already watched the original video yourself, link to it will be in the description. So, with that being said, let's get into this.
Lake Oliver Dam accident. On October 27, 2020, a 31-year-old man named Alex Reed Paxton, who worked as a commercial diver, was assigned a seemingly normal job at the Lake Oliver Dam in Columbus, Georgia. His task was to inspect the chain on one of the control gates of the dam's electric system to check for any damage. Lake Oliver Dam is a massive structure on the Chattahoochee River. Inside, water flows through giant pipes called penstocks, which carry it to turbines that generate electricity. These pipes are among the riskiest areas for divers due to the differential pressure, or delta P. This occurs when water rushes through a small opening, creating a powerful suction force. The pressure difference can trap a diver against a wall or pull them into the opening, making it impossible to escape. Because of this, strict safety measures are used to identify and shut off all energy sources before a diver enters the water. One of these rules is called a lockout-tagout system, which involves identifying every potential source of energy, like valves, turbines, or electricity, shutting them off one by one.
Wow.
Each closure is documented on a checklist and verified by a team. But on this particular day, something went terribly wrong. Alex dove into the water and began his inspection. However, unknown to him, a valve controlling a 10-inch pipe used to activate the dam's turbines was left open. As Alex moved down the chain, his arm was suddenly sucked into the pipe by an incredibly powerful force, about 850 pounds of suction. The pressure pinned his chest against the wall, making it impossible for him to breathe. Even with his diving gear, Alex was trapped and unable to move. The heavy force of the water cut off his airflow, and he quickly lost consciousness. Realizing something was wrong, the team working with Alex tried to locate the source of the problem, but it took them 30 minutes to identify the open valve causing the suction, and after closing it, another 30 minutes to completely stop the water flow. By the time they retrieved Alex's body, it was far too late, as he had already died from a lack of oxygen. Investigators later discovered that the safety checklist used that day was incomplete. It didn't even mention the valve that had caused the accident, meaning it hadn't been properly shut off before Alex started his dive. Each of these tragedies happened because of one crucial mistake. An open valve, a wrong turn, a moment of miscalculation. Underwater, even the smallest errors can be deadly. The same is true when learning a skill. If you don't have the right foundation, it's easy to get lost. By guiding learners at every step with teaching slides and interactive exercises, now for free. Pluragrada Cave Tragedy. On February 6, 2014, in Rana, Norway, 5 Finnish divers prepared for a deep dive into one of Northern Europe's most dangerous underwater cave systems, the Pluragrada. This network of water-filled tunnels connects the Plura sinkhole to the Steinugel-Flaget dry cave, stretching several kilometers and reaching depths of up to 426 feet. Just months earlier,
I don't even want to go near stuff like that.
Group that discovered the connection between the
I'll just be the guy that knows the story.
Across the entire cave system. Their success boosted their confidence for this new attempt, which involved reversing their original route by starting at Steinugel-Flaget and finishing at Plura. After a 15-hour journey from Finland, the team arrived at their destination well prepared. To minimize the risk of disturbing sand and dirt that could cloud their vision, they divided into 2 groups. The first team would begin their dive 2 hours ahead of the second, with both aiming to complete the traverse in approximately 5 hours. The first group, consisting of Patrick and Huotarinen, entered the water and began their mission. When they reached the deepest part of the cave, they decided to power down their underwater scooters so that Huotarinen could take in the beauty of the cave. Everything was going as planned, but when it was time for the team to begin their ascent through a particularly narrow passage with a 90-degree turn, Patrick became unable to see Huotarinen's flashlight, so he naturally waited for his friend. Soon, he saw Huotarinen's flashlight waving around, which was a clear sign of distress, and as he turned back to look for his friend, he saw that Huotarinen had gotten stuck in a narrow passage behind him. Patrick did everything he could to help his friend, even managing to free him from the place he got stuck in. But it was far too late, as due to the immense amount of stress Huotarinen was going through, he ended up breathing the cave water as he panicked while trying to switch between breathing systems and drowned to death. Traumatized but aware that the passage behind him was now too risky to traverse, Patrick decided to push forward towards Steinugelflag.
Oh
At
my
the same
God.
time, Kai, Vesa, and Jari entered the cave, unaware of what had happened, but they too got in trouble.
Wait,
After reaching the
what?
deepest section of the cave,
Where did the other one
Oeterina
go?
had died,
They didn't
Jari
see him?
Usameki began panicking after Vesa, who was leading the group, told him about his friend's death. Kai, unaware of what was happening, saw Jari in a state of extreme panic and knew that if he didn't calm him down, he would soon lose his breath. Unfortunately, his attempts to calm him down were useless, and Jari ultimately drowned to death in his panic. After watching his friend die, Kai was forced to turn back,
Bro.
coming to the conclusion that Vesa wouldn't survive either. Meanwhile, Vesa and Patrick, now separated from Kai, managed to make it out alive, but feared that Kai had also died. On the other hand, Kai thought Vesa and Patrick got lost on their way out. Finally, against all odds, Kai managed to get out of the cave alive and reunite with his
God.
friends, but the loss of Jari and Oeterina was devastating. For weeks, the bodies of Jari Oeterina and Jari Usameki remained trapped in the underwater labyrinth, and despite the authorities saying that a rescue mission would be impossible and banning any sort of diving activity in the Plura Grot, the three men refused to leave their friends behind. Two of the surviving
Wow.
divers organized a private recovery mission. They succeeded in retrieving the bodies from the cave, bringing them back to the surface for a proper farewell.
Jesus.
Plate Tail Dam disaster. On January
Those are real
4th,
friends right there.
2024, two experienced divers, Christopher Godet and Frederic Pochet, headed to the Plate Tile Reservoir, one of Belgium's most famous diving spots, for a night dive. This location offered various recreational activities, including sailing, snorkeling, and diving. However, there was a significant danger, a large dam that activated suddenly, depending on energy demands of the surrounding area. Aware of this issue, local authorities had established two safe zones with a radius of about 100 feet where diving was permitted. Going beyond these zones was extremely dangerous, as it could lead divers into the dam's active zone. Furthermore, the dam's intake tunnel entrances had no protective grids, as these required frequent replacement every 2 to 3 months. One
God.
concerning aspect of the dive was the type of equipment the men decided to use. They were equipped with closed-circuit diving gear, which is a type of gear that is designed for extended dives, and underwater scooters, which are used to propel divers. This suggested that they might have planned to explore beyond the safe zones, closer to the dam. The primary
Jesus.
danger of doing so was differential pressure. At around 5 p.m., the two men submerged and descended to a depth of 45 meters near the dam's intake tunnel.
Oh,
At first,
God.
they likely heard nothing, as the dam was not on. But at some point, they may have heard a faint hum, the signal that the dam had suddenly been activated. Three of the
shit.
dam's
Oh,
4
no.
reversible pump turbines quickly powered on, generating an overwhelming suction force. Within seconds,
Oh,
the two
no.
divers were pulled toward the dam and
Oh,
sucked into the intake tunnel. Later that
shit.
evening, Frederick's son became concerned when his father didn't answer his calls. He went to the reservoir and found his father's car still parked. Sensing something was wrong, he immediately alerted the authorities. During their initial search, rescuers discovered damaged diving equipment, and although they couldn't confirm it belonged to the missing men, it raised suspicions. Poor weather conditions reduced the visibility and forced them to halt the search temporarily. Resuming at
They're
10 a.m.
dead.
the next day,
They're
they deployed
long dead.
helicopters equipped with thermal cameras, and after 46 hours of searching, human remains were recovered. An autopsy confirmed they belonged to the two divers.
Oh,
We may never
my
know whether they
God.
went so close to the dam intentionally, even though their equipment suggests that they might have. Remember to check out today's sponsor, AirLearn, which you can download for free in order to really start learning new languages.
Okay, that's it. You mentioned about the sponsor 3 times in this video. But oh my God. The one that really was just crazy is the second one where the Polora Grant Cave tragedy, that story where 2 divers went first and then the other 3 went after. One person died from each group and they weren't gonna let those dead bodies just rot in there. They actually dived down. Well, they got in a little mini rescue mission to get them out, and they actually did, and actually buried them and had an actual like farewell to them. That's crazy. That's how you know you got some real friends right there. Man. And the other ones, Jesus Christ. The first one was just a just a big accident. And the last one, my God, they decided to go into the danger zone. I'll never attempt this. I don't care how much money you offer me. I am not attempting this. I'm going to die. If you hear a rooster in the background, I'm sorry. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this, be sure to give this video a like. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Be sure to do so right now. Turn on notifications to be notified for any video that I upload. And I'll catch you guys later to the next one whenever I start doing that. So, hope you guys enjoy. I'll catch you guys later. So, take care.